thank you for having me. My name's Alana. Thank you to Dennis for inviting me. So I know Dennis, we're both on the committee at Hertford Astronomy Group. Dennis, we need the lights on so I can be recorded in all my glory. We're both on the committee where I'm club secretary. I'm in charge of social media and publicity, and as he said, I also run the observing group as well, where we meet at Bramfield. You're welcome to kind of bring their telescopes. It's a little bit more fun and social than kind of doing it by yourself.
Do you need to bring your own telescope?
No, people do turn up without telescopes, absolutely. People also turn up with kind of semi-broken telescopes as well, so we can offer a little bit of help and guidance there. We've got some really great people that kind of know what they're talking about. So yeah, it's really social and nice. And if the weather gets a bit naff, there is the pub opposite too, so which is always a draw. Yeah. So I started my journey in astronomy probably in about 2019, so I'm still quite new to astronomy really. I ended up purchasing this Cheshunt Astronomy, which is known as a bit of a hobby killer. It's very manual, it's very clunky. I looked at the moon, I think I was probably expecting like a Hubble-esque kind of view from my back garden, which I didn't get, funnily enough. And it sat in the garage for a couple of years. And then a friend of mine invited me to go to Bayfordbury Open Evening, which has anyone been to Bayfordbury Open Evenings? No. I'd highly recommend it. They've got massive domes of huge telescopes. They do a whole open evening sort of through, when does it start? Like October?
Yeah,
November?
October.
Yeah, through to
October's in March.
yeah. And they do talks. It's in, it's kind of in between Hertford and
just outside Hertford.
Yeah, Hertford and Welling, just in between there, so not far at all. Well worth going, but that kind of piqued my interest again, so I thought let's get the telescope back out of the shed, and I ended up looking for a local astronomy group and found these two, so yeah, and that's where we are today. Had that, started at the astronomy group, then Steve, who's our equipment officer, and I'm sub-equipment now as well, he ended up buying a Seestar S30 for the club, which I was made guardian of because I do a lot of the outreach and things like that. Astrophotography was something I never really thought I could do. I'd seen people's images and I thought it was way out of my reach. Maybe didn't have the budget for the equipment, things like that. It was just some of the photos I would see were just incredible, and I thought I can't do that. This little unit changed all of that. So I've had that probably since, when did we get that? October? Yeah, October last year. Ended up lending it out to someone sort of mid-January, missed it a little bit, so ended up buying my own, and then got to a point where I thought, actually, I'd quite like to buy myself a proper astrophotography rig. So ended up with this one at the top, telescope, camera, mount, auto, focuser, all of those bits and bobs. The one in the middle is all of this kit, but just the different telescope, which belongs to Steve, and that's how my journey started. Dennis has covered this for me very nicely, but as you can see, this one I've got is a reflector, so open end, works with the light shines through to the mirror, bounces back out of the eyepiece. My refractor, which I use for astrophotography, works with lenses, much sort of cleaner image basically, and the smart telescope is completely enclosed and does everything for you via your app, and I will go through exactly how it does that in a little bit. So what is astronomy and what is astrophotography? Well, hopefully we kind of know that astronomy, we're looking at planets, we're looking at galaxies, nebulas, everything that's in sort of outer space. And then astrophotography brings that together by using telescopes, cameras, tracking mounts to take long exposures of what is out there, producing more light so we can see more finer detail and get those really kind of high definition images that we'll see in a little bit. I think we have to remember, and sometimes we forget, that all of those things out in space, they're literally thousands of light years away, like they're so far away, it's actually quite incredible what we can see, and especially what we can see with this little thing on the desk. Oh, I did leave this slide in. I thought I'd taken it out. This is something, when I sort of, there's always two sort of camps. There's people that love visual observing, looking through an eyepiece, and that's always going to be the case. And then there's people like myself who like that, but like to look at something a little bit different. With galaxies and nebulas, planets are fantastic. I find sometimes, do the planets change as much as the galaxies and nebulas and what you can see? Maybe not. But I just wanted to include this just to show you kind of like what each thing is. So obviously your galaxies, your vast cosmic areas, loads of like billions of stars, never ending really, what you can see. And then your nebulas are kind of like small star forming regions within a galaxy. I had to double check those facts because I actually didn't really know very well, so Steve had to help me. This, again, is your kind of traditional telescope view, so one with an eyepiece. You're looking through it, you're thinking, oh, let's look at Andromeda, thinking it's going to be absolutely incredible. You look through and it's a little fuzzy kind of dot, and you think, oh, it's a little bit, not disappointing, because obviously you're seeing something that's billions of miles away in space, but it can, sometimes when you first see it, you're like, oh, it's not quite what I thought it was going to be. This next one doesn't show up great on here, looks fantastic on the screen. This is Andromeda from the Seestar, but only a 10-minute exposure, so very short exposure. There's loads of stars, there's loads of dust lanes on the original images, and I'm happy for Dennis to send out this presentation after if you want to look at the photos in more depth. But yeah, this, again, Orion, one that a lot of people start with. Orion's beautiful when you actually see it, when I show you it in a second. Starts off in the telescope, very small, you can see kind of a little bit of dust. At Bramfield, something that we like to do with my colleague Richard, he will set up a visual observing telescope, I'll set up the Seestar, but we'll both look at the same thing. So you can see this, and then you can come to me, and then you can see, this is a bit blown out on here, but the reds and all of the sort of pinks and lights and that, and you can see a really beautiful image, and you can see the contrast of what an astrophotography rig and a smart telescope can do as opposed to your everyday sort of eyepiece viewing telescope.
And how do you tell the difference between which one is Andromeda and which one is Orion?
So, when I first started, I had no clue what anything was at all, hence why my telescope ended up in the shed. Nowadays, there's so many apps that you can use, and you can literally just point it at the sky and it will tell you kind of what is in that general direction. With the smart scope, you can actually set it when you go into it to say, hey, I want to look at, it will show you loads of different pictures, and I'll show you that in a sec. But you can pick what you want to look at, and it will explain a little bit about it as well, where it is in the sky and how far away it is and all that kind of stuff. So, and we have to remember that this is light that's travelled to us from thousands of years ago. So this actual picture here, I think it's about 1300 years ago that the light started sort of coming. Yeah, basically, yeah. So everything we see is in the past, which is kind of outstanding really when you think of it like that. This slide is basically a little reminder of how far things have come. So we started very much, this picture I stole from the internet, I didn't credit it, but it was about 20 years ago, but it just shows you this is what we used to be able to see and how technology has advanced. This is an image I took with the Seestar, and what you can see now, just with a little almost handheld unit. Same with mobile phones, like when they first came out they were absolutely huge, and now we've got phones on our watches and things like that. So astrophotography isn't easy, it's not cheap. I think we've kind of discovered that already in this conversation. It takes a lot of different components working together to get a decent image, but once you do get your image, it's so worthwhile, then you get such a sense of pride that then you kind of get a bug and you can't really stop, and you just you end up loving it. So yes, that's that. So what if astrophotography could become almost effortless? That's the same image that was a couple of screens ago from the Seestar. You can see the nice detail that's in that one. But with your traditional telescope, you've obviously got a lot of manual things to think through. So manually aligning it to Polaris and making sure it's pointing north, making sure it's level. You need to find the object in the sky, like you said. So if you don't know what you're looking for, how are you going to be able to find anything? Some telescopes do have go-to controllers where you can literally just plug in what you want to look at. They obviously come with an additional cost. Manual controls, like my Celestron, is all manual. It's a lot of tweaking. It's a lot of, oh God, like I've just had it and then you've moved it and it's gone. Some additional equipment is required as well, and it's quite a big steep learning curve. Like if you've no idea, like I had no clue about space at all really. I just thought, oh, telescope sounds cool, let's buy one. Absolutely clueless. Smart telescopes do all of that for you. So this little box on the desk and other ones that you can buy, it will automatically align itself. It will find the object for you, whatever you pick you want to look at, it will find it. It's all controlled from an app, so on your phone, on a tablet, whatever you've got. Built-in imaging, you don't even need any additional software, so you can literally stack every single individual frame that you take to build a bigger picture, and it'll do all of that in there for you. And it is very, very beginner friendly. Little moon I did. Who are smart telescopes designed for? I think I have kind of covered that, but complete beginners, absolutely. Families and young children, they enjoy seeing the image kind of progress as you leave it to go on. They love looking at the moon at outreach. You can look at the sun as well on these, with the built-in solar, what's the word I'm looking for? Filter, thank you. Good for light polluted locations. It's pretty good in light polluted locations. I live in Hatfield and my parents live in St Albans, and it's pretty bright there, but this copes very well. Good for travellers. Comes in a little bag. So it comes like this in one of these. You can take that anywhere with you. I'm going to Florida in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to take mine with me there. Good for existing astronomers like myself that maybe don't want to take our full rigs to outreach and stuff like that, or events. Chuck that in a bag and off you go. Who's it maybe not ideal for? Certainly maybe those that really enjoy manual observing. I've got plenty of people that come to Bayford Bree and they're not interested at all. They love looking for an eyepiece and completely get it. People who want full control over all the settings. So you can do a little bit of manual sort of tinkering with this, but the majority of it is set to point and go. Deep sky astrophotographers I've put who want maximum performance. Obviously these are small, you're not going to get the same image quality as the other telescopes that you've just seen a second ago. It's just never going to happen. Those wanting to upgrade components all the time when like the latest cameras come out and things like that to attach, this is an all-in-one unit, so what you've got is what you've got basically. It's rubbish for planetary. So the moon and the sun, absolutely great, but I find in smart telescopes for Mars, Jupiter, all of those things are absolutely tiny. And it's, if that's what you're into, this isn't going to be the answer for you. And like I said, visual observers. So how did smart telescopes come around? They kind of started in about 2018. The Unistellar EV scope came out and it was about $3,500, so it wasn't cheap. You know, that was kind of the price of my full rig, so you know, it wasn't cheap. It was quite big and clunky. The interface on like apps wasn't that great. They kind of looked through that. They had a few iterations of it. Then the Voyonis Stellina came out, same price range, still quite big. And then in 2023, ZWO produced a Seestar S50, and it was about £500, so it made it a lot more accessible to people who maybe hadn't been able to think that they could get into astrophotography before then. And it basically encompasses everything. So your camera, your telescope, your app, a mount, a sort of guides camera, all of that in one unit, and you're done. These are a couple of the sort of leading smart telescopes on the market. You've got the Seestar range, you mentioned the S30 Pro, you've got the S30, which is the standard one. The S50 has been discontinued, but they're bringing out a Pro version in December, so if you're good for Christmas, maybe you might get one of those. The little dwarf mini I've included, that's tiny, and that has some really cracking photos coming from it as well, so well worth having a look at that too, if you're interested in smart telescopes. They're all very similar in aperture. They're either 30mm or 50mm. Your aperture is obviously the amount of light that's coming in, and then you've got your focal length differentiators as well between them, and like I said, the Vespera 2. There's a great Vespera 2 on the market that's completely see-through, so you can actually see inside and the mechanics inside, which is pretty cool. I've not seen one in person, but I've seen it online, it looks neat. So, with the Seestars, again, like I said, this is the range at the minute. Everything you need is in the unit. So the S30 and the S30 Pro look identical. They've got an identical focal length of 150mm. So what that means is it's quite a wide field of view. So you're going to get a lot of the night sky, and your object is going to be quite small, okay, but you're going to get a lot surrounding it. Whereas when this one's only 2 megapixel as well, the Pro has a different type of chip, so it's a lot better in low light. It's also got a higher resolution, so your image quality is going to be a lot nicer. And I have done a comparison of, I think it was the Whirlpool Galaxy towards the end, where I did them both at the same time, and you can see the difference. 8 megapixel, everything, you get everything in the bag, the little tripod, your charging cable, it literally just plugs into the wall socket, same as your phone, so your phone charger is the same cable. Wi-Fi is built in, all controlled by the little app that it comes with. The S50, like I said, this one's been discontinued. I believe it's going to be replaced with an 8 megapixel, probably the same as the other Pro version, probably the same or similar chip. This does have a larger focal length, so obviously now you're sort of getting a tighter crop on your image, so what your Whirlpool in the first one would have been quite small, whereas here you're going to get a much larger image. So this is a lovely unit, and we've got a couple of people at the club that have this, and the images that come from it are really nice, especially with like nebulas and things like that. So well worth keeping an eye out for the updated one, or for these when they come onto like eBay and stuff like that, people getting rid of them to buy the new one. So, but yeah, everything you need, palm of your hand, no additional equipment. So how does a smart telescope actually work? So unlike my other telescopes, where I've got to sort of find Polaris and plate solve, and I need to be pointing it in the right direction, I pop its legs on, I'll stick it on the ground anywhere, doesn't matter, as long as it's kind of relatively level. I select what I want to look at, so for example Orion, like I've done before. It will take a picture of the sky and it will plate solve it itself, so it will figure out where it is in the night sky, like what it's looking at in the night sky. Then it will move to where it needs to be. It will autofocus on a star. Then it will kind of, I've put track target, it will track it if it's in EQ mode, and I'll come onto that in a second. But then you literally just press start and it will start taking exposures. In this mode it's set to 10 seconds, and it will just keep taking loads of those and save them. Then at the end you can stack them and you'll get a fabulous image.
But you obviously need a clear sky.
Yeah. Yeah. It's no use if it's cloudy.
Do you need the internet though for that?
No. So it's got the internet built in itself. It's got Wi-Fi built into it.
So you can take it where you want then?
You can take it wherever you want. Yeah, it doesn't need to run on the internet. You can set it up and then you can literally go inside and leave it. So long as I think it's about 350 metres, something like that. So I put it in the garden and I go inside and it's absolutely fine. I can see what it's doing on the app from inside with a cup of tea. So that again is it's sort of a nice thing over visual observing. You're not standing out in the freezing cold. You can set it up.
So can you take that away from the house then? Like,
yeah.
You could go miles away
Absolutely.
from the house.
Yeah, you can go wherever you want with it.
No, I was saying, you said about going in the garden, so I thought it had to be in a room.
No. So literally I will take this to like Bramfield. We help out at Bayfordbury, open evenings as well. I'll set them up there. So like here now it's working, and we can show you, if you've got your app we can show you. But yeah, it will work between the two, so it kind of works off its Wi-Fi. It will connect to the iPad via that. So yeah, absolutely anywhere you can take it and it'll work. Yeah, don't need to just be at home. No, absolutely.
So, because I was going to get one attached to my phone, because obviously I was supposed to take it out. But if my laptop's indoors...
Yeah, because you don't need your laptop.
Sorry?
You don't need a laptop for this.
You can have a phone.
Just a phone or like an iPad or Android.
Or on the phone?
Yeah, on your phone. Yeah, absolutely.
But what I'm saying is the quality, I've got Lightroom on my computery thing, one of them.
Yeah.
Very technological.
No.
I've got one of them, yeah.
Yeah, a laptop, yeah.
Yeah, with Lightroom and that on it.
Yeah.
So if I put that, say, in a field, is it not better to go onto that then, or is it better to go onto your phone?
No, so you'll need to be in the field with this.
Oh.
So wherever this is, you'll need to be near it somewhere, but it can be anywhere. So I could go out in the car park with it and work it out there.
You have to use your phone to work it?
Yes, it needs to be connected to a device with the app, and the app currently only runs on Android and iOS.
Is it the Wi-Fi connection?
Yeah. So that's how
will it work on an iPhone?
Yes. Oh. Yeah. So I've got mine running on my iPhone and my iPad. You can have it connected to like multiple devices. Android as well. There's like a minimum criteria. Obviously, the older the phone is, it might not be able to run it, but it will tell you that on the website. But yeah, absolutely, you don't need to like be sat indoors with it cabled in. Yes.
What you can do with, say, I use my iPad when I switch on and it goes to connect. It will actually connect then, it says you are then connecting to that Seestar, so you come off your own Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Onto that Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So that sort of clears up.
So
what
it's
you,
got a Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what-
got its own
That's what I
Wi-Fi.
think you were trying
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
get
that's
at.
what I'm
wasn't
saying. I'm
it?
thinking,
Yeah.
I've only got Wi-Fi indoors. That's
No,
why
yeah,
my
so-
laptop I
Yeah,
only
no,
use
it's
indoors.
actually in there.
So,
Ah.
Yeah.
You actually come off of your one and go onto that one.
Right. So if I'm at home where I've got Wi-Fi, I'd come off of my Wi-Fi onto that one.
And go
Yes.
onto that one.
And if I was outside where there isn't any Wi-Fi,
This has got its own.
It's got its own one.
so if you're in a bad area,
It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter,
It
doesn't
matter.
doesn't matter. Yeah, it'll work.
oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
I've
what
never
I'm
had a
saying,
problem.
You actually
Yeah.
come off of your own
Right,
one.
right.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I go out, there's no Wi-Fi. I'm
No.
on 5G.
No.
So if I'm on my 5G, that will automatically go onto Wi-Fi.
Yeah, this has
Wow.
got its own and it will work.
Well, even when
You're
in Hunstanton where there's no signal at all.
literally in the middle of nowhere. I've been with mine.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, you
Wow.
won't have a problem at all.
Has it got an SD card in?
It's got its own internal memory, so yeah, so you do need to keep deleting stuff off. You can also, to your point,
Taking picture after
You can
picture
take
after
SDF
picture.
test.
no, but you can, using the same charging cable, you can connect that to your laptop and you can download the files and then you can manipulate them or whatever in
Oh, right.
Lightroom and stuff like that. Yeah, you can do that.
Wow.
And we'll show you
So
that in a
that's-
second. So yeah, you can stack. There's little sort of algorithms in it where it will clean up your image a little bit for you if you want. If you've not got things like, there's other programs that we use like Cyril and PixInsight and stuff like that that kind of we use, but for the general sort of purpose, any like Lightroom and stuff like that you probably use too. But yeah, you'll see your image basically develop in front of your eyes almost, which is why we like to use it at Outreach, because people can literally see it build over time, over the evening, so it's really nice for that. So yeah, all automatic and all integrated. Finds it, it plate solves, it focuses, it will track it, it will stack it, and then you end up with a fabulous little picture at the end. Easy peasy. You look like you've got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
What image is that there?
This one is supposed to be the Whirlpool Galaxy, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, you're across. M101?
No,
Just a fake image?
I think it's, yeah, I think that's just
Yeah.
an AI galaxy.
Yeah.
And is that taken by the...
Well, it's fake for a start, but
It's fake.
I'll show you some of like mine at the end, which you can
They're
see.
the ones.
Yeah, they're the real ones. These were just sort of pulled off the
Okay.
internet. A quick bit on the way it's set up. So out the box, it comes with the little tripod that is on here on the desk that just spins into the bottom. That will run it in out as mode. So obviously as we rotate, your image is going to sort of rotate and you're going to need to crop your image to make it look kind of decent. This mode is best for shorter exposures, of 20-30 minutes. You can kind of get away with doing 10-second little exposures, absolutely fine. If you want to run it all night and get a really fantastic image, I would suggest getting an EQ tripod. I've got a tripod and a wedge, and that will literally, is super easy to set up. The app will guide you through it completely, so I had no clue. Yeah, so actually there is one in the bag here. I didn't know how to do that when I first got it. I thought, oh God, what's that mode? But it will literally, in online sort of pictures with you doing it, and as you do it you can see there's like two big balls and they kind of have to be touching each other.
A normal tripod then?
A
normal camera tripod?
You can.
Has it got a screw thing?
Yeah, it literally just screws in the bottom, which is the same as what a normal tripod
Yeah.
is. I would just be wary that if it's windy, there's a girl that also comes to the group who does it on a camera tripod. If it's windy, you will get a lot of movement, so you're better with something quite sturdy, like mine's quite sturdy, unless you've got like a bag full of sand hanging off it or something like that. So yeah, just be careful in the wind. But that will allow for a lot less, you won't need to crop it as much, because obviously it's going to rotate as the Earth rotates.
And it's auto tracking as well. Probably.
Exactly, yeah, once it's in EQ mode. And that then allows you for longer exposures, so you can run it up to 60-second exposures that way, and you can run it, if you want to, you can attach like a little portable battery like you would to your phone. You can attach that to one of these and you can run it for hours basically. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind if you were thinking of getting one. I'd highly recommend a EQ wedge. So this is what the app looks like. This is your home screen when you first come on the app. Super simple. Hit connect, have it on obviously. Hit connect, they'll find each other wherever you are, they'll find each other. Also on the front screen is your albums, all your pictures that you've taken so far will be in here. Deep Sky Stack is every single individual image, and it will name it in an album, whatever the object was you were looking at. Plan is something that I never used at the start, and now I use all the time. So if you've got, definitely in EQ mode I'm going to say, but if you can put it outside, go into plan, and what you can do is you can get it to start at, say, 10 o'clock, look at Orion for an hour, and it will image Orion for an hour, then it will stop, then it will move on to whatever the next object is you want it to look at, and then it will start imaging that for a couple of, like, however long you set it for, it will image that. Saves you having to go back out to it, especially in the cold, in the winter. Like, it's a pretty cold hobby, I'm not going to lie, especially in the winter months. But that's a fantastic little thing to get in the habit of using, because actually then it's doing everything for you and you don't really have to kind of worry about it. You can sit inside with a nice warm cup of tea. But once you're in the app and in space mode, it will bring you into objects, and based on your location, so it will know where I am, because obviously it's using the Wi-Fi and it's working with my phone, so it will know exactly where I am. It will tell you what is best to look at where you are for that evening. So it will give you a nice long list. Each one you can go into, it will tell you what it is, what your picture will kind of ultimately look like the longer you leave it, the sort of current visibility. So this was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, these were just demo pictures I took, but you'll see it'll kind of normally be sort of around here, and you can see it's the best feature is where it's got northeast. So if you know, like I do in my garden, that I can't look to the west, if that comes up with west, I'm not going to bother, because I know I'm not going to be able to see it. So that's a really helpful feature. But you can look through anything. You can search for objects. So if you know you wanted to look for the Whirlpool Galaxy, for example, you could just type it in if it's not in the list. You can go through all of these, looking at items in like the Messier catalogue. It does comets. I've seen some fantastic images that people have caught of comets recently. Like I said, planets not that great in my opinion. I'm yet to kind of see a really good.
What about your aura?
Not with this particularly.
Because I went on a cruise at Christmas,
Mhm.
I was disappointed
Yeah.
because I couldn't see it through my camera.
No.
I have quite a good camera. I did
Yeah.
it on my phone, and my phone's not brilliant. So I was thinking, would that
So
help?
this will run in what's called landscape mode. So basically, I've seen people take them to like air shows and stuff like that, and just like it was like a video camera basically. I have seen people try it. One of the chaps in the group actually took it on holiday to, I want to go Norway or something like that.
That's
He did
horrible.
try it, yeah, and again he said the similar thing, like didn't pick it up as great as
No,
actually
I
his
couldn't
camera
fo-
did.
I couldn't, no, on my camera I couldn't focus.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good anyway, not as good
Mhm.
as it's been in this country
Yeah.
even. But I found it very difficult to focus with a camera,
Yeah.
even with my tripod, so I
Mhm.
found it quicker to take it on my phone before it disappeared.
Yeah, which is I think what he did.
Which is
although, yeah.
disappointing when you've got
Yeah.
sort of all your equipment with you. So I thought that might pick it up better because it's not. I
Yeah.
thought it'd be nearer, isn't it?
It's not listed as one of its sort of features.
Right.
I don't know, I've not tried it to kind of comment properly, but I might have a look at that and see. But yeah, if you know where something is in a constellation, for example, you can look it up there and you can just search through and see what looks, I search through and see what looks pretty, basically, and then I image that. So that's what you do. Once you've selected one, so say for example M13, you literally click Go Gaze in and a screen will open and you just press start and it starts capturing your images. Super simple. Very kind of intuitive, like once you've got it and you've done it once, it's very easy to do again. This is an example of the stack in progress. So these images that I've captured with my S30, you can see after 10 minutes, you're kind of getting faint detail. The longer you leave it, the better an image is going to be. So half an hour, yeah, it looks all right. 60 minutes, a lot of people might stop and be like, oh, actually that's really pretty and I'll leave it there. But you can see the difference between 60 and 90, kind of. There's a lot more stars, there's a bit more colour. And then 2 hours, actually the difference between 60 and 2 hours is quite vast.
And this is continuous.
Just taking loads of individual
And it stacks
images.
it for you.
Yes, yeah.
So that is what you don't have to play around with it.
No,
That's your
this was
final image.
completely in the app, yeah.
And
And
it
then-
stacks it by itself.
So they all save into the deep stack
Yeah.
folder. Then you literally go into that. You can manually delete out images where you've maybe got like planes running through them and stuff like that, which is what I tend to do. But a lot of beginners don't bother because it does do quite a good job. Then literally just hit select all, hit stack, it will stack it, maybe takes 10 minutes. Then at the end of it, you'll get a final image that you can either...
Oh, that's not the final one.
That's the final one.
Yeah, but you've had to do that.
No, so that's from the app. That one's from the app in particular, yeah. So it's stacked it all, that's after I've stacked it.
Yeah.
So it's stacked it and that's its final image.
So anything else you can delete?
Based on all these, yeah, you can at the end, yeah,
So
absolutely.
the ones that are in the system
Mhm.
stack, if you delete them,
I tend to delete
it
them
won't
once
take
I've
none
done
of
it.
that.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't like keeping too much stuff.
Yeah, otherwise you end up with no storage,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Those I tend to, me now, when I first started, I just used to do it all in the app. Now I take them off and put them on my laptop and use other processes to do that because I've got the other rig and stuff like that, so I've got new ways of doing stuff. But definitely for a starter, let it run as long as you possibly can without kind of getting bored. I get to see people that kind of like, oh, I want to move on to the next object, but if you can let it run, you'll be rewarded, put it that way.
Well, it takes 2 hours to make
That was
one picture like that.
That was 2 hours, yeah. I mean, after 60 minutes, it's still quite nice too. So yeah, you do have to let it run. Same as with my other astrophotography rig, like I have to let it run, otherwise it's not going to produce anything very nice.
So do you press
In 10
start to
minutes.
get it to do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So you're looking at your phone,
hmm
you see it,
Yeah.
and you press start, and then
Mhm.
it'll take it for a...
Big red button literally looks like, almost like a, you know, like on an iPhone, your
Yeah.
picture, it looks the same as that. Literally press,
So when you press it, that starts as...
starts taking
Oh.
10-second exposures and you'll see it tick
What is-
round.
What is the restriction on storage, memory?
It saves quite a lot. I'm yet to, I can't remember off the top of my head what the storage actually
What?
is, but there's a lot on mine. I should delete it really, but I don't know how much is on that.
Storage capacity there.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you, but I can look it up for you.
So all of
Is
it's
it,
quite
is
a lot.
stored on
it
there?
storage internal or is something
Yeah.
that you
No, it's in here. Everything is
can
in
you
here.
add to it?
No,
Ah,
no. So you have to delete once you're fed up of stuff.
oh, right,
Delete it from. There's 2 folders basically. There's what's called a phone folder. Even if you've not got a phone connected, it's still called phone. That is your, when you're taking pictures of the moon and stuff like that, they are just individual frames, which I'll show you here. So these are just individual, like you're taking a picture on your phone. They're saved in the phone album. Then the stacked ones, they're all saved in the Deep Sky Stack
Right.
album. And once you've stacked them and you're happy with it and maybe done whatever you're doing with it, I would suggest culling them off. Same with the.
So do you have to transfer it from there to your phone?
You can know, well, yeah, to a point. So anything that's in the phone album will automatically save onto your iPad or telephone.
But the stacked
Photos,
ones-
the stacked ones, no. You have to stack it and then it will move. Yeah. But general photos will go straight away to your photo gallery. Yeah.
Sorry, Bob, do you still have a question?
No.
Oh, sorry.
So literally you have to wait 2 hours for just one object?
You don't have to wait 2 hours. You can,
To
yeah.
get the best picture?
Yeah, the longer you leave it,
So
yes.
really, per night you could
Mhm.
only look at 1, 2
Yeah.
objects?
Same with any astrophotography setup. You're
Okay.
going to be out there a lot longer than you are visually observing,
Okay.
but your reward will be better.
To
Yeah.
give you an indication, 4 years ago, there were some people from Romania, remember from Romania woman? And she was doing androgynous, and she was wanting to amass something like 400 hours
Mhm.
of it, because she wanted to get it so pin sharp,
Okay.
yeah. And so she was out there night after
And you can
night
come
after
back to
night.
it. You don't have to do it all in one night. So you can do a bit and then go, oh, I've had enough for this evening, and come back
Oh,
to it the
it
next
goes
night.
that
Yeah, yeah,
way.
yeah. So
Oh, I see.
it will save it in the same subfolder. So each stacked item will be named like
Oh, does it go
M51
back to
sub.
the very beginning again?
It will, yeah. So it will start again collecting the light. So it, but once they're all together, you'll actually end up with the same amount of like hours, if that makes sense. So yeah. So you can do it that way. But I just leave mine running. With the moon, and I've told you this before, I think, hopefully, it is very similar to taking a picture with your phone, so literally it's the same interface on this. What I would suggest doing though is actually a thing called, and you were talking about raw photos earlier, there's a video, you can take videos of the moon and the sun on this. It's a completely different kind of setup to the deep sky. If you take a raw video, you can then stack those raw video frames in the same manner that you would stack the like Orion that I just showed you. and you'll end up with a much clearer, it's not very clear on here, but on here it's pin sharp, you'll end up with a much clearer image of like the moon in particular. I would do it that way, but yeah, that's just a little tip that I learned kind of after I'd had mine for a little while. That's the best way to do lunar on this.
So what about the rest of the planets then? Why is it not doing like that?
I think it's just to do with the focal length and the aperture. Yeah, it's just not powerful enough to get to them. I mean, this compared to what he's got, and he does fabulous images of like Saturn and Jupiter.
Sure.
It's ginormous, and this is tiny. So yeah, this just shows you again. This processing's awful, so please ignore that. But 3 minutes, a Horsehead Nebula. You can kind of see it coming out here. You can see this massive bright star. That's 3 minutes. Then that's 683 10-second subs. So you can see the difference in the time, but then look at the amount of stars and light that it's actually gathering by leaving it to run. It's a little bit, over-processed, it's quite red, but yeah, that just shows you. This is what I was coming on to earlier. So this is the S30 and the S30 Pro, both in my back garden, both at the same time, both just on this little tripod. Half an hour, 10-second exposures, exactly the same night, literally they were side by side on, this is the Whirlpool Galaxy, and you can see the difference in the quality. So the S30 is a lot cheaper because it's been out for a while, it's about £340. The Pro is about 600 and something. Could you get a similar image if you left this top one to run a lot longer? Yeah, probably. You'd have to let it run for a while, but you can see the difference. This is a lot sharper. Obviously it's a bigger megapixel as well in the camera, so it's going to be sharper to start with anyway.
It's a very wide angle.
Yes, these are actually cropped, so they probably actually come down to about here image-wise, so yeah, it is quite wide, as opposed to the S50, which would probably be more like about that. Yeah. I do like the S50, if I'm honest. I kind of wish I'd maybe bought the S50, but I've got my rig now, so it doesn't make a difference. But yeah, if you're thinking of one, I'd maybe hold off for the... Yeah.
Can I just point out that M51 there is 31 million light years away.
Yes.
It's taken light 31 million years to get from that galaxy to that little telescope.
Mm-hmm.
What, light years?
Yeah.
Light years?
Yeah, light years. 31 million light years.
So if they was looking back this way,
yeah,
they wouldn't even see dinosaurs, would they?
No.
Correct. Well, dinosaurs were about 200 million years, but
so
they're plenty of galaxies.
Orion, that I photographed earlier, that was, the light from that was like 628 AD. That's when that light's come from. So it's absolutely insane when you think of it like that. Yeah. Something that we should kind of remember. Yes, sir. Noise. They are quite noisy all the time. There is a denoise in it. It has been improved in the latest update. I've not used mine since.
I thought you meant the stars, but you actually mean the telescope.
Yeah. They, once you've kind of taken your image, there is quite a lot of noise in the images. I can definitely tell now, I think, what is a Seestar. When I'm on social media and stuff like that, I can kind of tell what's a Seestar image and what's not. They all kind of have a similar noisy look, if that makes sense.
You're not talking about actual noise.
No.
Noise in the picture.
Yeah, the grain in the picture. Yeah, absolutely. It can be improved with post-processing and things like that, but I'd say for amateurs, like a lot of the people that come to our group, especially, they're not really that fussed. They want a nice, pretty picture that they can put on social media or show their friends and family. Are they that bothered about noise at the end of the day? Probably not as much as we maybe are now that we're kind of more into it, if you want to say that. But yeah, I can definitely tell a Seestar would be quite good in a competition. I think if there was a Seestar image, I'd be able to spot it out. But still produces a fabulous image. You can't, say that it doesn't, because it does. The S30 Pro, which is what Dennis has, this belongs to the club. Dennis currently has it. Does do star trails, so this is one I took in the back garden. It also has a Milky Way mode, not an Aurora mode, but it does have a Milky Way mode, which is quite nice. But I will say, if you've got a DSLR, which most of you kind of seem like you have, you can maybe get that yourselves anyway. So is that worth the extra money? You kind of have to weigh that up for yourself. and these are 2 suns I did. So this is the sun with the filter that comes with it, and then I've also got, is it Bada or Bada? Bada. This is the Bada filter that I've got too, just to show you kind of a comparison. And these are some of my images that I've done. So yeah, a few of these are with my actual Astro rig though. So any questions?
What are they images of?
They are Orion, Bode's Galaxy and the Cigar Galaxy. This one is M101 I believe, and M51, the Whirlpool Galaxy.
It's M51, I think
Yeah.
it's M63.
And
This
the
one?
M comes from the Messier catalogue.
Yes.
So you have to know what you're looking for.
Not particularly, no. I just
But
kind
if
of,
you just go for a search, can you just put search in?
you can literally just look through, I'll go back here, through these, and it will bring up like this, but slightly larger, and it will go across the way, and you can just look, I kind of go with, oh, that looks pretty, and it's in my direction that I can view in, and I
His
I
picture
do
of
that.
telescope.
yeah, that's all right,
So on
it's
that
anyway.
thing there, just
Mhm.
have an on-off button basically.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
don't do anything with the thing itself.
No, we'll show you. Presume that's what you're about to do.
So when you get like that picture on the top left, it's all done in the.
So
There's no, you don't
that's
have to apply any.
That's not in that. So this app, ZWO, who own this, they also do mounts, telescopes and cameras
Oh, right.
for astrophotography. So this chap actually has a YouTube channel and he's got some massive telescopes, but ZWO as a brand have a similar app where you can basically upload like communities, you can upload your images and stuff like that, and it's basically taken that from there. Yeah. So unfortunately not, no.
There's a lot of them
Quite.
apply filters.
It will look good,
They
but
apply
yeah.
filters to make
Yeah, we
get
can.
the colours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like UV, ultraviolet.
On your
Yes.
phone, you
Yeah.
can't download that until you've got it, can you? You
You,
can't.
you can, so you can download this and sort of fill out your me, and you can look at community. Nearby is quite cool because you can see other
So you
people.
can download the app.
You can
without
download the
having
app,
thing.
yeah, without having the unit.
And what's the app then?
Seestar, no, just Seestar.
Seestar.
Yeah. I think Dennis is going to show you, I believe.
Unfortunately, there's a firmware update.
No, you could have pressed cancel.
I was going
That's
to.
a good
This is
idea.
very quick.
I hope so. But yeah, it's very user intuitive. Like even if you don't, I had no clue what I was doing with astrophotography when I first started. I'd not touched a telescope apart from that big huge Celestron that I had, and I picked this up
I
very
think that's
easily.
a good way to start.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
It's nicknamed the gateway drug for a reason. Like once you start with that, you'll really fall in love with astrophotography, and that's what happened with me. And now I've got my own telescopes and cameras and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's a great way into the hobby, an affordable way into the hobby, I'd say, much more than a full-on rig where you kind of half sort of need to know what you're doing. This is very simple.
See, I've had some good pictures of the moon
Yeah.
with my camera.
Mm-hmm,
I've got
absolutely.
a 600
Yeah.
lens.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
But I haven't ever tried anything else with it because I think I was too far away.
Yeah.
It
So
was flashing, Dennis.
would I be able to get anything else with that?
You'd probably need a tracking mount.
It was flashing.
Because otherwise, if you're standing trying to do it, the shaking of you is not.
Yeah, because I use a tripod. So
Yeah, you could try definitely, but
I've only ever done the moon with
yeah.
it.
I love
But I've got some good pictures of the moon. You can see all the craters. and
Yeah.
that. But you're saying then, if I took lots of pictures, I could actually stack them because I never stacked
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
So if I stacked them, it would be better.
This, I would say, in video format, it stacks it. You can
Ah.
try in the
Ah.
individual frame, but
Oh,
this
yeah.
I take in video raw, and then it stacks the video frames. That's how it works.
So on my normal camera, when I
Mhm.
take the moon, if I
You're
could,
doing
like a video,
photos.
I can do videos on
I
it.
would give it a try.
So
But then that's stacking it internally in its.
Yeah, yeah. Until
How
I
are
get,
you
well,
gonna
I've got
stack
one
it?
for Christmas stuff before I can
Yeah.
get one of them.
Yeah,
So I just wondered, so to do pictures, to stack them on your camera, you
Mhm.
really need to do a video.
Yeah, but are you able to stack them on the?
I don't know how to, but I can find out, can't
So
I?
if your camera can produce AVI files,
Oh no, I don't know what that is.
that's a video file. Video.
Oh yeah, I
file
can
format.
video, yeah.
Okay. So what you do is you will take 1 minute's worth of video
Right.
of the moon,
Yeah.
and then with that video, you then use a piece of software to process to automatically stack the best frames.
Right.
What you're doing is that you're taking because the atmosphere is moving. What you want are lots of frames, and then the software will remove all the bad frames, stack up all the best
I
frames
don't know if my
automatically.
camera does that. It's quite a new camera.
The camera won't do it.
No, I haven't. So I've
You
I've
need,
only got Lightroom. I haven't got any other
no,
ones. It's got this up.
you've definitely got to have software for stacking
Right.
astronomy video.
Is
Right.
this specific stacking software?
Yeah,
And it's
no.
free. It's called Auto Stacker.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
So-
but
so-
Auto Stacker
Auto
is a
Stacker.
free bit of software. But the problem with using an DSLR camera is that they're all set to do video of daytime video, which is 60 frames a second, or less than that, 25 frames a second. But what you ideally need is a long focal length telescope. 600 millimeters is about right, or longer. But you need an astronomy camera which can capture 100 or 200 frames a second.
Right.
Because what you want with planetary and lunar astrophotography are very short frames, very quick frames, because the atmosphere is moving.
Yeah, I understand.
Atmosphere
All I'm
moving
saying is I
along.
have taken some good pictures with my camera.
Yeah,
After
absolutely.
loan.
Absolutely.
But I would love one of them.
Yeah.
I can't get into Christmas after Christmas.
These, as Alana said, these are not great for solar system astrophotography. Number one, because the focal length isn't long enough.
Yeah.
And number two, because the video speed isn't fast enough.
But for photographs, that stacks it itself, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Like
so
there's
for,
pictures of those
Yeah.
ones you showed me.
for deep sky objects, you don't need a high frame rate.
No.
You need one frame every 10 seconds or 30 seconds. But for planetary, because the objects are generally much smaller, the atmosphere affects it much more, you need a much faster frame rate. So you can try video with your DSLR on lunar. It won't work at all for Saturn and Jupiter because they're
No,
just too
I've
small.
only ever tried them a moon.
Yeah.
But as I say, the moon
But you've
is
got a
not-
600 millimeter lens,
Yeah.
so it might be, you will be able to see the moons of Jupiter.
Yeah.
But again, you'll need to stack the images
So
up.
if we went to join the Hertfordshire thing, which I'm very keen
Hertford
on
Astronomy
doing,
Group, yeah.
and we go over to,
Bramfield,
no,
Bayfordbury.
yeah, Bayfordbury, if we use their telescopes to have a look, can we actually take pictures and keep those pictures ourselves, or not really?
No, so they're connected
No.
to computers, and actually the images that come off of them are kind of similar to some of the images that we would produce. Don't let them hear me say that, but like that we'll show as well.
Oh, well, they'll be about the same
well, it's
one.
going to be better than that, but yeah, it's kind of different.
Well,
But
often not.
well, no,
Well,
yeah,
often not.
sometimes.
I mean,
yeah.
the thing at Bayfordbury,
Try
they're
not
obviously
to
a
diss them.
scientific,
Yeah.
scientific
Yeah.
organisation.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they're measuring,
Yeah.
double stars
Oh,
and variable
It's
stars.
not
They're-
really
they're-
like for
they're-
us to have a bit of fun and look at
No,
what we
I mean
want.
they're producing graphs
Oh.
and scientific data,
Oh.
so they're not really set up for producing nice pictures which you can frame and stick on
Yeah, that's
the wall.
what I'm thinking, because
So,
I would be very
yeah.
happy with one of them.
Yeah.
But if you get more involved, you want to get closer to planets and that, then you've got to buy a bit of equipment.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, so if we went to Bramford then, or to the observatory, we would not be able to use their equipment to take photos for our own use.
You can come to Bramfield and people stick their phones up to like the eyepieces and stuff like that and take lovely pictures of things. With this, that's going to save to my machine, so you can take a picture of my screen, of course, but yeah, you're better off having your own unit to
I
take
know
a picture.
that. I was saying, what I was trying to get across is, if we have one of them, but we want to do the planets and the more in-depth things like you through a telescope,
Yeah.
we could borrow somebody's telescope there or put our phone. Could I come and put my phone on your telescope? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, on an observing telescope,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I could come along, use your telescope to take a picture.
With people that have got like observing telescopes, yeah. So with the
Ah.
astrophotography telescopes, there's already cameras on the end of them, so there's no eyepieces on the end of your like on my Astro setup. There's no
Oh, right, yeah, those ones.
So like here, so that would traditionally be where your eyepiece would be, but obviously
Yeah.
I've got a camera on there.
Oh.
Same with this, so you can see it more clearly here. So
Oh,
that's
it's
the
not a
camera.
normal camera, it's a special.
No, so it's an
Ah.
astrophotography camera. So then that's using Wi-Fi again to link to my phone or my laptop
So,
or whatever.
If it's linked up,
Mhm.
you can take a picture for me.
That's what it's
Give it
doing.
to me as
Oh,
my
I can send it
picture.
to you. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
oh,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll just use
Yeah,
yours.
but that's how that works. Yeah.
Oh right, okay, sorry, thank you.
No, that's all right.
So,
Whereas on here, when people bring stuff like this, obviously you
Yeah,
can
I thought
stick like your phone up to the eyepiece and take pictures. This does a
Yeah.
lovely picture of the moon, don't get me wrong. Or sometimes I'll actually attach my DSLR to this nowadays and take pictures of the moon
really?
through that. Yeah. So I've got a little nose piece that you take your lens off, attach a nose piece, and then that fits into here, and it'll take a nice picture of the moon that way.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good idea then. So it could still be quite reasonable if you have
Yeah,
one of these.
absolutely.
And if you join clubs where people have got ones you can borrow or look through.
And we at the club have a lot of kind of loan equipment as well, so we've got stuff that we can loan out to people.
right.
We've got telescopes and stuff. So
Where do
yeah.
I sign to join?
Yeah, absolutely, you can join. We start back in September, so £15 a year. So that's my little plug for that.
What date?
£15 a year.
Oh,
What date?
oh.
The 12th, I think it is. Yeah.
And
that
that's
gives-
when you've got your special night.
So that gives you access to 3 groups. So you
Oh,
need
that's
to be a member to come to Bramfield to the observing session, and it also gives you access to our astrophotography meeting, which meets on the last Wednesday of the month,
Oh,
also
hang on,
at the
I'm
university.
confused. So you've
So
got
the
one
ma-
second Wednesday,
Yeah.
one the last Wednesday.
Yes, and they're different subjects.
Oh right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
The one that's the astrophotography one is actually
That's the better one.
set up with people will come down who've been doing it for years, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they will show you the
I like old Winslow.
whatever. Anyway,
Right, oh that's
while you've been talking, I'll switch this on, and for obvious reasons, it can't find M51 because obviously it can't see outside. But the idea is just that just shows you. If you imagine now you were outside and the object you're looking for is up there, that's exactly what it does.
So that thing there.
And all I'm doing is going on the
That's the lens.
It moves.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, so that'll open and close. Then that actually, the front piece, that's where your solar filter, it literally magnetises to the front. So if you want to look at the sun, it will just attach magnetically, and it will remind you on the app to make sure before you do solar that you've got an